Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into, well, a literary phenomenon, really. It's captured millions, sparked a massive TV show, and now the sequel is getting some very different reactions. We're talking Ollie Novak's My Return to the Walter Boys. And our mission today is to unpack two reviews that could hardly be more different. You've got one reviewer calling it a long-anticipated joy, even a shot of adrenaline, pure excitement. And then another found it a disappointing addition to what they called a guilty pleasure series. Ouch. So yeah, it's a perfect way to look at how our own connection to a story can completely change how we experience it.
It's truly compelling, isn't it, how that emotional investment we have in a beloved narrative, it just profoundly influences our critical perspective, especially, when we go back into a world we really cherish. That deep connection, it can either make things feel even better or, well, make the disappointment feel sharper.
Absolutely. And I think to really get these different reactions, we should probably set the scene a bit. My life with the Walter Boys has had quite a journey. It started way back, gained huge popularity on Wattpad in 2010, then it got officially published in print in 2014. So it's been around, a key read for a lot of people for like over a decade.
Right, the long history there.
Then, bam, December 2023, the Netflix series drops. And even though the show itself got some, mixed reviews critically, it just exploded in popularity, huge numbers, brought the story to a whole new audience.
Definitely.
And that massive surge, you have to think it played a big part in getting the sequel, My Return to the Walter Boys, out this past April.
No doubt. And for anyone who maybe needs a quick refresher on the basic story, the original focus is on Jackie Howard. After this terrible tragedy, losing her parents and sister, she moves to Colorado. She goes to live with her guardian's family, the Walters. And it's a big family, 11 sons.
11.
Yeah, so it sets up this whole journey of grief, finding your place, new relationships, all in this very busy household. And it's probably worth remembering, the TV show actually changed quite a bit from the original book's plot.
Good point. Okay, so with that background, let's dive into the first take. The super enthusiastic fan. This review is from Raindrop Reflections, and it's glowing, like 4.75 stars. You can just feel the joy of revisiting this world. They call it a long-anticipated joy, and like we said, a shot of adrenaline straight to the heart.
Wow, okay. High praise.
Definitely. And a big reason for that praise was Ollie Novak's writing. The reviewer calls her the queen of illusions, really highlights how she weaves in pop culture everything from Taco Bell to Shakespeare. There was even a specific mention of a cheeky nod to, look what I did to your pretty face.
Huh. Interesting detail.
Yeah, and the reviewer felt this wasn't just name-dropping. It created this feeling, this blend of freshness and familiarity. They argued Novak took the foundation laid by stories like, say, The Summer I Turned Pretty, and just elevated it to new heights.
That makes sense. That kind of shared cultural shorthand, when it's done well through illusions and just an engaging style, it does more than just entertain, right? It builds this resonance, almost an intimacy with the reader.
Intimacy, yeah.
Especially for a series people are returning to. Using those touchstones, it makes the world feel richer, more lived in. It's like you're in on it.
That in-on-it feeling must be huge for the dedicated fans, like you said, that shared history. Does that create a tightrope walk for the author, though? Trying to keep that feeling for old fans, but also welcome the newcomers from, say, the Netflix show.
Oh, absolutely. It's a really delicate balance. You want to reward the loyalty, give those nods, and maintain that voice they love. But the stories still have to work for someone picking it up fresh. It sounds like, from this review at least, Novak managed to thread that needle pretty well.
Okay, so beyond the writing style, this positive review also loved the character development. It specifically points out that each Walter boy gets their own story, which, with 11 of them, is pretty impressive.
That's a lot to juggle.
For sure. And crucially, Jackie, the main character, she's shown as more than just, caught between two brothers or whatever. She actively enriches the lives of those around her, has her own depth. That really landed well with this reviewer.
And that's so important, isn't it? Especially in genres close to romance. When characters have their own agency, their own journeys, their own impact beyond just who they're dating, it just creates a much deeper connection for the reader. It's more than just hitting the expected beats.
Right, moves beyond the tropes. And the pacing got top marks, too. Described as spot on. A good mix humor, serious stuff, those heartfelt moments.
Balance is key.
Yeah, the reviewer felt every interaction rang true, kept them totally glued to the page.
Nice.
And here's where you really see the fan investment come through. The reviewer talks about the TV show adaptation. They are beside myself with excitement for season 2. Actually shouts out Team Poll always.
Huh. Okay, they've picked a side.
clearly. And they're just so eager to see this rich tapestry, as they called the book's world, brought to the screen again. That anticipation is definitely part of their positive buzz.
Makes sense. The whole ecosystem matters now. Book, show, fandom.
Exactly. Okay, so from that really glowing account, let's pivot. Hard pivot. We're going to the other side of the spectrum. This review is from the Daily Tar Heel, and it pulls no punches. Calls the sequel, flat out, a massive disappointment.
Oof, okay.
Yeah. And this reviewer's backstory is interesting because it mirrors a lot of the newer fans. Got totally addicted to the Netflix show,
Yeah.
apparently watched it around 7 times.
Wow, okay. That's commitment.
Right. Then immediately read the first book, loved it, and was just brimming with excitement for the sequel's release day, only to be, in their words, immediately underwhelmed right from the start.
And, you know, that deep investment we talked about, that intense anticipation, it creates this huge psychological pressure. When you've built something up that much in your head, the gap between your hopes and the actual book can feel like a chasm. It really makes you wonder, how much does our own idealized sequel set us up?
That's such a good question, because this reviewer had very specific things that just didn't work for them. First off, the beginning. They called it a jarring start. Apparently, the novel opens with a prologue that's just text messages, iMessage rip-off text bubbles, they said, between Jackie and Cole.
Hmm.
And since the first book ended with Jackie heading off to New York, this just felt weird and out of place as an opener. Didn't set the scene well for them.
Okay, I can see how that might feel abrupt.
Then they flag some out-of-character moments.
Mhm.
There was a specific interaction with Isaac, one of the Walter boys, that felt really off. His whole vibe seemed different.
How so?
Well, the example given was a scene where he apparently had sex in his car literally minutes before picking Jackie up from the airport.
Wow.
And then the dialogue that followed, Jackie asks him, quote, "Were you screwing someone in here?" The reviewer just found that whole exchange cringeworthy. Didn't feel like the characters they knew.
Yeah, dialogue like that can definitely pull you out of the story if it doesn't feel authentic to the character.
And it wasn't just Isaac. The reviewer felt a lot of the other Walter boys, who were pretty important in the first book, just
Mhm.
seemed irrelevant in the sequel, kind of faded into the background, which, really waters down that big family dynamic that was a huge part of the appeal originally.
Right, that ensemble cast is central to the whole Walter Boys concept.
Exactly. But maybe the biggest issue for this reviewer was the romance, what they called the confusing romance arc between Jackie and Cole. They actually liked the will they won't they stuff in book 1.
Okay.
But here, they felt the romance just reemerged from nowhere, like zero buildup. Jackie was supposed to need space for her grief, right? But suddenly, after homecoming, they're dating. It wasn't earned, narratively speaking.
Ah, the development felt missing.
Yeah, and this constant back and forth, dating and then not dating, just created an exhausting storyline. The reviewer literally said it caused neck pain from the whiplash.
Huh. That's a vivid description of reader frustration.
Isn't it? And it just culminated in disappointment, the
So-
ending. Described as a generic closing line. By the time they finished, they were just ready for it to be over, which is pretty damning for a sequel people were so excited about.
Wow. Quite the contrast to Shot of Adrenaline.
Night and day.
But you know, what's really interesting here, even inside this very critical review,
Mm-hmm.
there was a glimmer of something positive, or at least acknowledged. The reviewer did say that Novak seemed to put a little more emphasis on how Jackie was grieving in this book.
Oh,
Yeah. They noted that the first book and the TV show too kind of too easily skip over the massive trauma of losing her entire immediate family.
That's a fair point, actually.
Right. So even though the overall experience was negative, the reviewer could still spot, and perhaps grudgingly, appreciate that the author was maybe trying to address that deeper psychological element.
Mm-hmm.
It shows how, even when you're disappointed, you can still recognize specific authorial choices or narrative threads that resonate, even if the whole package doesn't work for you.
That's a really sharp observation. It means the critique isn't just a blanket, it was bad, but more nuanced. They saw an attempt, even if it didn't save the book for them. And what's also telling is, despite hating the book,
Yeah.
this same reviewer is still holding out hope for season 2 of the TV show. They hope it won't be as unbearable.
Huh. Okay. So the characters, the world, still have a hold on them.
Seems like it. It really highlights how much the overall story and these characters stick with people across different formats. Even if one version disappoints, they're not ready to give up on the whole thing.
So taking all this in, what does it really mean for you as someone reading a book, watching a show, engaging with any story? I think it just underscores how incredibly subjective our experiences are. Your personal history with a story, your expectations, they massively color everything. That prior investment can ramp up the joy, like for the first reviewer,
Yeah.
but boy, it can also really sharpen the sting of disappointment. Like for the second, it's a pertinent reminder.
What a ride, exploring my return to the Walter boys through these two lenses. It's just fascinating. From the shot of adrenaline fan, loving the illusions, the characters, the pace,
Mhm.
to the reader feeling neck pain from the whiplash over confusing romance, weird character moments, and just feeling let down.
It really does leave us with a thought-provoking question, doesn't it? And it applies way beyond just this series. When you go back to a story world you cherish, are you secretly hoping for just more of the same, an echo of what you already loved? Or are you genuinely open to it going in new directions, maybe even directions that challenge you a bit?
That's a deep one. Something to definitely mull over. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope it gave you some interesting perspectives on how we connect with the stories that grab hold of our imaginations.